All right, hi everybody, I'm Laura, and I'm incontinent. And what that means is that I lick pee without wanting to when I lift my kids, when I laugh, and when I sneeze. So everything started here when I had my first child, and I was so embarrassed I didn't tell anyone. Then it really got bad, so I spoke to my doctor, and she sent me to physical therapy, which involved 30 miles of driving, and with 2 kids at home and a full-time job, I just stopped going after 2 sessions. Then it really got bad, so I saw a urogynecologist, and it's the first time I heard the word vaginal pessary. Do you guys know what a vaginal pessary is? Lift your hand if you know. Okay, well, this is the audience, right? Well, for those that don't, it's a silicone piece that you have to wear in your vagina for the rest of your life. My other option was surgery. So at that point, I'm like, how did I get here? So what I learned too is that had I had physical therapy when I had my first child and my second child, I probably wouldn't have such severe incontinence. So did I fail the system? Well, I'm not alone. Half of us is incontinent, and about 20% of us will have surgery in our lifetime. So the system is failing us. And then the system is also failing itself because we are $10,000 more expensive a year for health systems than our continent friends. So this is why we have created Happy Sneeze. We are a digital platform to detect pelvic floor disorders early and treat them at scale. And we do that in collaboration with health systems and providers that do not have the resources to do that in-house. How do we do it? First, with education and awareness. We want to change this conversation so that women will come forward, will speak to their providers, and change the conversation from one of taboo and shame to one of health and power. The second one is with systematic triage and referral. So we're equipping providers with tools to identify who is at higher risk of pelvic floor disorders so that we can get them care soon. And the third one is with treatment options that are friendly for what we call people with big lives. This is people with children, with full-time jobs, and who, want to have happy sex and a lot of fun in their life. So, yeah, we're part of a revolution. The virtual rehabilitation industry will be almost $4 billion by 2030, and we are building so we can treat women at scale. About 4 million kids are born every year in the United States alone. Right now, we have a minimum valuable product that runs on Android and iOS, and we have a backend that carries around 700 data points per user. And our users are almost 4 times more likely of finishing a rehabilitation program than with in-person options that is the standard of care currently. So this is the money part. Our business model right now is a virtual clinic. It's a virtual clinic. So we assess and treat women, and we get insurance reimbursement. This is by design. It's an equity discussion, so we want everybody to have access to care. So what I want you to take away here is that incontinence is a health disorder that's covered by insurance. And there is a pot of gold, and we're building the rainbow to get there. Then as alternative options, we're discussing content licensing, referral to adjacent specialties, etc. So our next step, now that our base product is built, is expanding out of our pilot clinic and automating our support system, which is really our secret sauce, to reach the $1 million mark in 2025. Our team is a partnership between a family that suffered incontinence in our own life and digitally minded women's health providers. And our commitment is that the next generation of women, so our daughters, our nieces, the daughters of our friends, don't have to go through what we had to go through. And we are supported by an amazing group of advisors. We have world-class research institutions that are amazing and publishing in the world of pelvic health. And also, we count on digital health leaders, among them a medical director from Maven Clinic, which is the first female health unicorn. So I want to leave you with a thought. If you're still wondering if incontinence is such a big deal and it's a problem worth solving, think about this. What would we do if 1 in 2 men were incontinent? Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much. This is brilliant. I love that you're trying to break the taboo and the stigma. And yes, people cough and sneeze and they are incontinent and we don't need to continue to suffer with it. So my question is, how do you quantify how people improve? So, when you see people in face-to-face, the pelvic floor physiotherapist will put their finger in and get you to squeeze so on. How do you quantify whether or not it's improving and then what's the long-term plan for the patient?
That's a great question. So we, for those with a medical background in the room, we treat primarily stress urinary incontinence, which is incontinence that happens when there is downward pressure on the pelvic floor, which are the muscles at the bottom of your body. And that's when you jump or sneeze. So we use an index called ICIQSF that goes from 0 to 22. So we read at baseline on day 10, 20, 30, 40, and 90 of the treatment, and that's how we see if they improve. So any improvement over 4 points is clinically significant. We're at 5 at the moment for those that complete 40 days of treatment.